Chapter 2. At midday the next day, someone delivered some food and water down through the hole with some rope. The sound alarmed the girl resting on Tian Shao's body. A murderous glint swiftly flashed through her eyes, and she grasped her dagger tightly once more. Tian Shao wasn't afraid. He softly said, "You've awoken." The girl's gaze fell on his bright face, and only then did she realize how improper their positions were. She coughed 2 times and her body flipped over, as she lay down on the side of him. Tian Shao's body had been pressed down for an entire night, and he was numb and sore from head to toe. However, he didn't say a word and sat up, taking the food that had been given and began to eat, doing exactly what he did daily. After he filled his stomach, he glanced over and realized that the female on the floor was steadily looking at him. Tian Shao thought about it for a moment and felt she had probably become hungry but was unable to move at all. He took her meal over and silently picked up some food with his chopsticks and put it in her mouth, going as far as to feed her. The woman was startled, but she did not refuse his kind intentions. She opened her mouth and ate everything. One person silently fed the other, while the other silently ate everything. The scene displayed harmony that stemmed from a mutual lack of human interaction until this moment. After she finished her food, the woman did not say any words of thanks. But Tian Shao was looking at the empty bowl absent-mindedly. Then, he suddenly began to laugh. It seemed like he had not laughed for a long time, as his smile was somewhat stiff and shaky. Still, the expression in his eyes made the woman gape. "What are you laughing at?" Tian Shao didn't reply to her words. Instead, he used his fingers and gently wiped the corner of her mouth, almost as though he was taking advantage of the opportunity to caress the edges of her lip. The woman's brows creased as if she extremely disliked other people touching her. With a wave of her hand, she shook off the man's hand. This single motion made the blood and vital energy in her mind bubble forth. After gasping for a long time, she managed to say, "Don't touch me." The back of his hand had become swollen from the woman's strike. Yet, almost as if Tian Shao couldn't feel the pain, he remarked, "Can move." The woman frowned, and then she heard more, "You can move." Throughout the innumerable days and nights, everything in this place had been deathly still. In the beginning, he had felt anxious, but after he became numb to everything, the deathly stillness of this place made him feel like his body had been stripped of its roots, rendering him silent as well. He never moved, he never talked. And he was alive, but he had forgotten what he lived for. But now, seeing her had made him feel that God was proving to him that he had to live on so that he could leave an imprint in other people's lives. Even if it was a tiny imprint, it was enough. "What is your name?" Tian Shao gently inquired, not caring that this person had just hit him. The girl closed her eyes and coldly ignored his question. Tian Shao did not fume. The female beside him hugged her legs, keeping a close eye on him. As her chest heaved incessantly, his hands itched to touch her, but the pain from the back of his hand made him afraid to rashly take action. Thus, he asked again, "How did you get injured?" Unable to get a response made Tian Shao feel like his chattiness had been switched on. Every few moments, he would ask a question, "Where are you from? Why did you get imprisoned here? Isn't your injury serious?" They came one after another until the woman opened her eyes and fiercely glared at him. Tian Shao looked at her fearlessly, his eyes full of brilliant rays of light. A feeling of powerlessness indescribably leapt up in the woman's heart. "Shut up." Upon realizing that the woman didn't like to hear him speak, the bright light in his eyes turned slightly gloomy. But when he saw that she had started to bleed again, when she had waved her hand a moment ago, his fingers moved subconsciously as he stealthily shifted over. Carefully, he grasped the corner of her robe and said, "Your wound is bleeding." His pale fingers on her pitch-black clothing formed a stark contrast. The woman was at the end of her patience, as she sat up. She moved too quickly, startling Tian Shao into letting go immediately. He hugged his hand as if he was afraid that the woman would hit him again. The woman gazed at him for a long time, and then she stood up with difficulty and walked over to the wall before sitting down and leaning back on it. She seemed to have erected a cold and detached wall through her actions, refusing the approach of everyone. The abandoned Tian Shao stayed where he was, muddle-headed. He then slowly shifted over by the woman again, who was hugging her legs and staring at him. Their breaths intertwined in the dark cell. Tian Shao's lips curved yet again, and after a moment, he began to laugh quite foolishly. "What do you want to do?" Extremely irritated, the woman spoke. "What is your name?" "Yu Yao." "Yu Yao, you're bleeding." Veins protruded from Yu Yao's forehead. "I know." Tian Shao's fingers unconsciously fidgeted. "I can help you stop the bleeding. I know how to help people heal their wounds." The former crown prince had been imprisoned in this type of place, and he knew the art of healing. Yu Ya was a bit flabbergasted when she considered his cognitive abilities. However, she did not ask any more. The experiences of this crown prince had nothing to do with her. As long as she survived, she could do what she wanted to do, and that was enough. End of chapter 2.